A very warm welcome here on Canal English for another edition of the program, The Forum. And today our guest is Churchill Nanje. He is the founder of Njoku.com. Njoku.com is located in Buea in the southwest region of Cameroon. It is Cameroon's own answer to Silicon Valley in the United States. Here it is called Silicon Mountain. With him, we are going to be talking about the consequences of 3 weeks of internet ban in West Cameroon. Please do not go away. As I announced at the introduction of this program, today we are receiving a guest. His name is Churchill Nanje. He is the founder of Njoku.com, and Njoku.com comes from or is located in the southwest region of Cameroon, precisely at the foot of Mount Fako, and where they are growing like mushrooms in the forest is called the Silicon Mountain, which is Cameroon's own answer to the very respected Silicon Valley in the United States of America. But for 3 weeks now, internet has been suspended, not only in and around Silicon Mountain, but all across West Cameroon. What are the consequences of these 3 weeks of suspension? Most often we talk about banks, we talk about education, we talk about the economy, and it's a pleasure to have here somebody to tell us live the consequences of economic or the internet suspension in West Cameroon. Mr. Churchill Nanje, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm very fine. I'm happy to be here on Canal English.
Good. And now please, before going into the nitty-gritty of why you're here, as I introduce, I don't know whether my introduction was a real representation of the reality on the ground, because we have heard a lot of information, a lot of news coming from West Cameroon that the 3 weeks of suspension has almost run the economy of that part of the region aground. Is it true, or are we just being excessive?
Well, I would say the internet ban coupled with the ghost towns is really impacting the economy negatively in that region. But at the same time, I will say that there are other people that maybe the traders in the market or those who have shops, they can operate, but also they're feeling the impact because most students, Buea is a university town, or a student town. So most of them have gone home to their parents because of the uncertainties and they're scared. So the people that go to the shops to buy, the restaurants to eat, they are not there. Buea is practically like already a ghost town before they declare a ghost town.
It was a ghost town for declaring a ghost town. So that is a collateral damage of one single decision, that is the suspension of internet in West Cameroon.
Well, I think that one is the collateral damage of all the uncertainties. Yeah, but the internet in itself, it's impacting mostly the youth there, because there are a lot of young people maybe who write articles online to make money, who build softwares for clients abroad to make money, who also deploy software for their clients home and abroad to make money. And there are people working for these people. And all these young people are practically either out of work or struggling to adapt to Douala, to just keep working. And Douala is very harsh for the kind of work we do. So yeah, that is a direct impact of the decision of banning the internet.
Okay, now the question we wanted to ask you, I think you have partly responded to that question, was that the question was this: now that the internet has been suspended in West Cameroon for 3 weeks now, those of you who survive or who make a living using the digital technology, how do you do to make a living right now?
Well, first I would say some of us come to Douala to work. The others transit every day to Douala and back daily. because that's what I did the first few days. Come to Douala, you walk, you go back, but it got too expensive. I will really say it's very difficult. It's like we're being punished for something we know nothing about. I'm looking at it like this. A lot of young guys, their life in Buea is comfortable, so maybe they rent a house or a room, and then they have their office space there, and they have all this plan, you know, pay everything 1 year upfront. Then this happens. They have to now leave the Buea with all the bills they've paid there, already planned for the year, and start making an extra effort to come to Douala and locate where to live, and you know it's not easy. And they have to use active spaces here to work. And if you're living in Bonaberi and working in active spaces, it's not like you're living in Moliko and working in Moliko, because this is a different dynamic. Before you cross the bridge, you're so tense. Before you get to active spaces to work, you are totally out of inspiration because it's too stressful, you know. So we are not used to this. So this internet ban is not just affecting us financially, which it is, making us spend a lot more money in hotels or feeding in Douala and things like that, and trying to also find office space. But at the same time, it's also emotionally very draining. You know, we feel like, why will they get us internet like this? And why are we suffering in our own country? And actually, we have a country that just made us smile last year, making us feel like they are bringing up very nice policies to help young people like me to build their own digital businesses and grow and employ thousands and thousands of Cameroonians because the potential is there. Then just a few months after, they make us smile over national media and invite us to Yaoundé and do Cameroon investment forums, pay even our bills and everything. Then they now get the same internet that is supposed to empower us to continue working in that partnership of building a digital economy of Cameroon.
Okay, now the question was about to ask you is that the good thing with you is that you really know what you're talking about, and most often, before I should ask you the question, you have already responded to that question, but I will really come back on it again. Is now, when you said last year the government made you guys to smile, in reality, what happened?
Exactly 12 months ago, this week, last year, on national TV, I was honored to be one of the profiles. During the president's speech, there was a video of me and the office in Buea. When you talk about economy numérique, when you talk about Generation Android, they showed a clip of me, and he said other youths in
like
the country,
a role model.
Yeah, other youths in the country should emulate what these youths are doing and try to grab the internet or go to the farm and start doing agriculture. You either do, you know, he was encouraging Cameroonians to become entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs or agro entrepreneurs, you know. And a week later, CRTV made me a profile of the week. Every day they were talking about me, like, this is a good profile. You know, it was like a revelation. Where has this young guy been hiding? Some people asked me that. And then a few months later, the minister, Madame Libom Likeng, invited me and other startups
to... Who is Libom Likeng?
The Minister of Post and Telecom.
Right. You know, in Cameroon, we have a lot of ministers that sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, that's our minister, because she invited us now, and even did national, during the Cameroon Forum Investio Cameroon, she had a village Android where we had a stand, and then they advertised it on CRTV, invited young people to come and see what other young people are doing with technology and computers only, you know. And this made me feel very happy, like, okay, the government has finally decided to support us, because it's really difficult to build a business in Cameroon and Africa. And now, after all of this joy, then comes the internet ban, and then I'm like, what is happening? I thought we were a partnership, we were trying to build a digital economy in our country, we were trying to make Cameroon proud, because when Guardian talks about Njoku or Silicon Mountain, they talk about Cameroon, Cameroon's Njoku or Cameroon's Silicon Mountain. When BBC or France 24 talks about it, they talk about Cameroon's Njoku, Cameroon's Silicon Mountain, Cameroon's Viva, Cameroon's this or that, you know. But now, if they can't sustain us so that we too can represent the country just like the Lions did 2 days ago, then I really think it's not encouraging. It's not. It really makes me scared.
Okay. Are you now thinking that the government is a kind of contradictory?
I won't really say contradictory. I will say that whenever they have to take certain decisions, I prefer that the decisions have to they have to consider their other decisions, because their decision before this one was to encourage the digital economy in Cameroon, and we're doing a very good job. That I won't take from them.
But I would not like to act like a devil's advocate, but I would like to put the question the other way around is, don't you think that somewhere the government felt that it was the ultimate decision to take in order to avert total disaster in West Cameroon?
Well, without an official statement from them, all we can do is guess, which leaves us in the middle of water. But I think there are other ways they could get. I don't know the solution they wanted. I can only guess they wanted to stop the rioting, and with social media, news goes fast. Valid news and wrong news at the same time. So there can be news that there is fire in Moliko when there's no fire. It goes viral and people start fighting because without even verifying. So if they were trying to prevent that, maybe they would have disconnected those platforms that allow people to share false information.
A kind of selective disconnecting.
Yeah, selective disconnecting, so that the banks will still operate, so that small businesses like mine trying to still grow from the ground up will still operate and not feel like they should not even scare away investors, because things like this will scare investors away. Some investors will be like, if this can happen, then why should we invest our money in Silicon Mountain? So all the work we have been doing for the past 7 to 10 years will actually go to drain just because the internet has been disconnected.
Just because the internet has been disconnected. Now, I would like to ask a question before going to the other one about discouraging of investors. You as an individual, you are the founder of Njoku.com.
Yeah.
When did you decide to create your company, and what really made you to go into digital business? Okay,
it all happened by accident. I didn't plan to be an entrepreneur, no. If I say that I plan to be an entrepreneur, that would be a lie. I left high school and I decided I wouldn't go to the university, I wouldn't go to Polytechnic, I wouldn't go to QS. I had all the points. Yeah, I had all the points, all the A grades to go to those schools. But I felt like I should spend a year at home, but I didn't want to stay home with mom. I wanted to be around my friends in Buea. And while in Buea, I said I should do something that would just keep me busy. And that's when I got close to cyber cafes and computers. When they go to school, I go to the cyber. And I was trying to keep myself busy, maybe look for schools abroad, maybe see. Before I knew it, I realized, how does this website work? I just look for it. I want to know how to build mine so people can use mine to look for information. So yes, that was in 2003. And after doing this, like a year later, I got a job to teach at Trustech Institute of Technology. So I took the job, and I taught there for like 2 years, and during that period I kept studying online. In all the studies, I finally got hooked up to people that wanted services, mostly Cameroonians that come from Europe, and they say, Churchill, we're looking for somebody to build us this or that. We hear you can do it. And I started doing small services like that for 10, 20, 30,000, 50,000 francs. And once somebody advised me to now say, you can turn this to a business. So I quit my job at Trustech and then started my company in 2006 as a small association. And then from there, I've been growing gradually and trying to learn as I go. Yeah.
Okay, so if I understand, Trustech began in 2006 officially.
No, Afrovision Group began, me as a software developer, a businessman, I began in 2006 with my consulting, Afrovision Group Limited.
Okay, and how many, before asking you, because when I'm with someone like you, a lot of questions come at the same time.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of time, but the other question is, when you talked about you started making some money, 10,000 francs, 20, what is the biggest amount you have ever made since you went into this business?
I think we had a contract to build a GC Bots website. That was in the range of like 2.7 million francs CFA. Yes, that was a big project. Yeah,
exactly. That was a big project.
Yeah.
The GC board.
Yeah, the GC Bots website. We actually won the site.
You won the contract.
Yeah.
Now the other question I would like to ask now is, how many people do you employ?
Actually, we...
Njoku.
As Njoku, we employ like 7 people right now. I say like because some people are just interns, some are part-time. Yes, but in total, in my 2 companies, the total headcount goes to 20 people. But the full-time can be 10. Yes, the full-time are 10, not can be. That's what I'm sure. It's my business,
it's
of course.
Business. You have 10 permanent staff.
Guys, yes.
And you have...
Some of them have temporal contracts, but they have a contract with me. But the other 10 are just consultants. Full-time, like the full-time people, even if it's a permanent contract or a temporal contract, but there are 10 of them that are on such status. But there are 10 others that are either interns or they just come and do like consultants.
Okay.
Yes.
The other question I would like to ask you now, besides Njoku, because when we watch you on France 24 or you read in The Guardian and other Western media, it sounds like if the big is a kind of big thing that is taking place over there at the Silicon Mountain.
Yeah.
How, beside your company, how many other companies can you imagine that have mushroomed around around Buea?
I think right now there are close to 20 established companies in Buea, 20 young companies.
And all of them are
digital ones. These are digital companies I'm talking about. If it's general entrepreneurship, there are over 100 small companies in Buea. Some doing fashion, some doing music like Alpha Beta Records, some doing movies, there's a lot going on in Buea in terms of the youth entrepreneurship. And technology and the internet is empowering us a lot, because once they release something new, some new concept, some new idea in the US, the next day we are reading about it in Buea because it's on the internet, and then we understand and implement instantly. So there is no gap between us and the information highway, which is at very high speed.
Okay, now the question that any journalist who has somebody like you would like to ask is that, on a whole, can you speculate the amount of money, not only you, the digital industry around Silicon Mountain do generate annually? Do you have an idea, or is it difficult?
I could guess, but it will not be the right amount, because some of the startups are focused more on growth, not revenue. Because in the startup world, there are 2 schools of thought. One of them is you build your company and you grow, like Facebook. Grow when you have a lot of users, you now make money from those users. But in the years where you're trying to grow, you make no money, which is something we're trying to do in Njoku. And then on the other school of thought is you grow your users. As you're growing your company, you focus on growing the number of clients you have. Yeah, it depends on how you go about it. Maybe like Apple does with iPhones and the rest. So yeah, on the average, I would say if they're in the technology
field,
yes, there are like 20 startups there, and on average you make of like 2 million francs a year. On average. That's average. Some make 0, some make like 20.
That's 2 million francs per company.
Yes.
Which is about equivalent of about 8,000 or 2,000 US dollars, right?
Yeah. I want to be in Cameroon, so I prefer to use French.
Yeah, exactly.
20, and there are like 20 startups. So we'll say we have a small economy there that generates like minimum like 40 million francs here for every year for the young people there. And it feeds like 100 to 200 people. And it helps them pay their bills and make something out of their life, and also invites some recognition internationally and nationally.
Yes, the recognition, I think you have it already, because if you have major news outlets like the BBC, France 24 and CNN coming right down to Cameroon, it's because of what you're doing. Now, the other question which I wanted to ask was, your market, who are your clients?
Our clients are mostly businesses in Cameroon, businesses in Africa, businesses in Europe, US, UK. Yeah, we mostly get clients there. And the initial clients we get are mostly Cameroonians abroad, diaspora, who want to build something and they want to also support the economy back home. And so they were like, okay, let's give them a contract. Instead of giving Indians, we give Cameroonians. They will do it, and we are sure in Buea, because they have a track record. And later, when we work with these people, they end up getting other contracts from non-Cameroonians and maybe foreigners. So that's how we go. And we also have, like I said, businesses across the world. Mostly in Cameroon, in Africa, in Europe, in UK, in America.
You know, for a layman like me who doesn't know nothing about digital technology or digital business in which you are, and when you say we have contracts in the United States, in Africa, in Europe, or around the world. Could you be a little bit specific? What type of dealings do you do?
Okay, a client, maybe, let me just give an example. It could be a Cameroonian in New York who owns a salon. And the Cameroon to build a website for the salon, because in New York, for your beauty shop, let me call it beauty shop. So it's, if I say salon, that's Cameroonian.
Yeah, the beauty shop.
Yeah, your beauty shop has to be known. But in America, for your beauty shop to be known, you need a website. You need a Facebook page. Now, if you contact providers in the US to do this for you, you're looking like $2,000 for your website. If you talk to Indians to do this for you, you're looking like maybe $600 to $1,000 for your website, because the industry has developed. Or sometimes you can be lucky to get a $500 for your website. If you contact a young guy in Buea in his room who has those skills, let's say the me of 10 years ago, and then you say, look, I'm going to give you $200. You tell me. The young guy will be very happy. He's going to make $200, you know? And from that, he can pay his bills. And if he's not a registered company, he will not bother about taxes.
Taxes, yes.
Yeah, but some of us that are registered companies will also have to, maybe in that same $200, you declare your tax on it, 5% for your monthly contributions and all that. And at the end of the day, you pay income tax. Yeah, but this is now me sitting in Buea, which is practically like nowhere. It's not even Douala, and making money from abroad, from anywhere, and feeding myself and taking care of myself in Cameroon without necessarily traveling out of the country.
Without traveling out of the country. Now tell us, now in Africa, the pools where people know very much about digital technology is Lagos, because the other time the head of Facebook came. And then
Yaba, particularly
Yaba Tech,
yeah,
exactly.
Tech in Lagos, yeah.
That's like the hub that is the reference point in Africa.
Yeah.
Now, comparatively to Silicon Valley, where do you stand?
You mean Silicon Valley in the US?
Silicon Mountain, yeah.
I would say the advantage Silicon Mountain has over maybe Yaba,
yeah.
is that in Silicon Mountain, people invest a lot of time to create pure technology. We don't see the money fast like in Nigeria. But so we tend to build a lot of value for a long time. Like I spent 2 years learning how to build websites, applications, without making money. Imagine. So we gain all this experience. Like, okay, just yesterday, a 17-year-old kid in Bamenda is the first African kid, high school student, to win the Google International Coding Competition in Africa. He's the first African.
And
in
he's
Bamenda. He's
from
from Bamenda. I think it's from GBH's Bamenda. He's a young guy, very young. He's going viral on social media. So these are the advantages we have in Cameroon. In Cameroon, we have people that are willing to take their time and master these technologies before the money comes. In Nigeria, I wouldn't say they're not willing. I would say they see the money fast, so there is no need to master the technology. Yeah.
Okay. So in other words, if you want to tell me that you are perhaps better than the Nigerians,
I wouldn't really say we're better. We have our advantages. They have their
own advantages.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, coming back to Cameroon, you said you have about 20 companies. Besides Joke, which other company do exist?
There is Viva, which is very interesting because they are supplying all the bus agencies in Cameroon with some very good technology. Entertainment, it's an entertainment company. There is Maconjon Media, which is running a couple of digital media platforms, which is also doing very good. There is Fee Perfect, which developed Film, and Film is used globally by 1 million people. And there is AgroHub, which recently won the Nestlé competition of maybe 300,000 Swiss francs, almost 200 million francs CFA, to build a factory to produce cassava and convert to starch and sell to Nestlé. So,
and where would the cassava plant be built?
I really don't know. I'm not in the board of directors of AgroHub. Yeah.
All right, but before we conclude our program, now that the internet has been suspended in West Cameroon for 3 weeks, how do you organize yourself to come to Douala or to Bafoussam? I don't know, what do you do?
Well, the people in Buea, we all come to Douala, but we don't meet usually because we're in different places. Even my employees, now I used to work with them in the same office. The few that are in Douala, I don't even see them. I just have to talk to them by email and all of that. So it's making me feel like if this continues, then there is no need staying in Cameroon where they'll cut internet. I just decided maybe go to Germany or go to, I don't know, maybe go to Australia or go to the US where they had the technology and compete in the big league, you know, and then manage everything from there and still manage a team as I'm managing in Douala. So there is no need. But we really want to be in Buea, so we'll plead that the government looks for a way to give us the internet while trying to prevent all the uprising, the ghost towns and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Churchill Nanje, founder of Njoku.com, it was a great pleasure having you here today.
Yeah, the pleasure's mine. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
Well, that was the founder of Njoku.com, based in Buea, the southwest region of Cameroon, and the location precisely is what is generally known as Silicon Mountain. Please stay tuned on programs on Canal de English, and tomorrow is another day.